Assalamu alaikum students. In today's lecture, we are going to solve the Bessel differential equation. So there are some standards form and there are some modified form. The equation is the same Bessel equation. So if we have the standard form, we can change this by dividing by x square on both sides. So both are the same equations, but here we have the coefficient x square and here we do not have the coefficient x square. But if we again multiply this equation by the x square, we will get the standard form. So being a physicist, we have to vigilant that which form we are having, so we can solve or we can write the solution or the result directly. Now our aim is to find y, which is the function of x, and the solution of this differential equation y is equal to fx, where f of x could be a polynomial. We know that a polynomial has a form as 3x plus 4 square plus 9x cube or so on. So y is actually a polynomial. However, we are not sure about from where this polynomial starts. Maybe the first term does not contain x, or first term may contain negative power. So generally what we assume that the minimum power is k. So we assume a solution of a kind of y is equal to x raised to the power k, and rest of the powers are greater than k, that is k plus 1, k plus 2, etc. So we assume a general solution of something like x is equal to y is equal to xk plus k plus 1 plus xk plus 2 plus so on. So we have a final form by introducing, first assuming that the function may have minimum power k, and then there must be some coefficients with the polynomial. Inside the polynomial there are coefficients, so we generalize coefficient are a0, a1, a2, and then when we sum up this series and we introduce a summation sign, we have a very general term as summation r is equal to 0 to infinity ar into x k plus r. So if we put r is equal to 0, then we get the first term. If we put r is equal to 1, we get the second term. R is equal to 2, we get the third term, and so on. Now when we have a generalized form, so this is our assumed solution now, and it is very general form, and our aim is now find out the value of k, minimum power, and then the coefficients associated with the x term, and finding solution of Bessel differential equation using this technique is known as the series solution. Now we need the terms in equation 1, that is d square y upon dx square and dy upon dx, and we will take the help of equation number 2 which has y, and if we take the derivative of equation 2 with respect to x, then we can get the dy upon dx. So if we again differentiate it, then we will get the d2y upon dx square. So these are the constants, so they will take outside the derivative, and then we take the derivative of this thing, then we will have k plus r minus 1 x into k plus r, and minus 1 is minus 2. So now we put the value of y dy upon dx and d square upon dy upon dx square in equation 1. This x when goes up, it has power minus 1, then it, again we have get the term k plus r minus 2. Then we multiply this term inside, and we will get summation r is equal to 0 to infinity x k plus r minus, when we take this one up, then it become k plus r minus 2. So we will get n square, which is outside the summation, r is equal to 0 to infinity ar x k plus r minus 2. So most of the terms are now identical. Now we can take some terms common because most of the terms are identical now. We take k plus r common, then we have k plus r minus 1 plus 1 minus n square x into k plus r minus 2 plus summation r is equal to 0 to infinity x into k plus r, and this is equal to 0. So that would be k plus r whole square So we have inside the bracket k plus r whole square minus n square x into k plus r minus 2 plus summation r is equal to 0 to infinity x into k plus r equal to 0, and we can call it equation number 3. Now we have much simplified version of the equation, and whenever we have to solve an equation which have power of x, then we compare the coefficients. Now we have two summation terms in equation 3 if we see it, and 0 on the other side. So at that stage we have to observe that which summation has the least or the minimum power of x. Because if you remember, the terms are something like a k plus r minus 2, and the second term is x into k plus r. So if we put r is equal to 0, then it would be xk, and if you put r is equal to 0 here, then it would be x raised to the power k minus 2. So which one is the minimum? So k minus 2 is less than k. So we compare the coefficient of minimum power of x, that is k x k is power minus 2. Since there is no coefficient of xk minus power minus 2 on the other side, so this coefficient would be equal to 0. And now we have seen the situation where the product of two term is 0, that is a naught, or the product of this bracket term, and this is equal to 0. So 1 must be 0, but since a naught is the coefficient of main power of k in our assumption, which can't be put 0, so I write it minimum power because this a naught is the coefficient of the minimum power of in our assumption. So that's why we take k square minus n square is equal to 0, and this give us the value of k as plus minus n. Now we have two values of k. So we have two cases for the k, that is k is plus n or k is minus n. And of course, we have to get the two values because this is the second order equation. We are talking about the equation 3. So we start with the case 1 when k is equal to plus n. And we put this k is equal to n in equation 3. Plus n in equation number 3. Then it becomes we name it equation 3a for the consistency, that it comes after the equation 3, or this is now the modified form of equation 3 when k is substituted as n. So we can simplify it because here we see that there is a formula. So we can write it in the term and we call it equation number 4 after simplifying this expression. We see that it is a square minus b square, which is a minus b into a plus b, Now previously we compared the coefficient of xk minus 2 power, minimum power of x, which was k minus 2, and since k is equal to n, so we compared the coefficient of x n minus 2. So we have compared the coefficient of x raised to power n minus 2. Now we compare the coefficient of x raised to the power n minus 1. So in order to generate the x raised to the power n minus 1, we put r is equal to 1 in equation number 4 and the coefficient will be compared. And why we do not see this part, because this is not the minimum power of n. So we are looking for basically the minimum power of x. So when r is equal to 1, the term in the equation 4 will be a1 1 plus 2. When r is 1, then we do not write it. So x n power minus 1 is equal to 0. So on the other side of the equation, there is no coefficient for the x n minus 1. We can write, if we write this thing, that it is appropriate. Now we compare the coefficients and we see that a1 1 plus 2n, which is the coefficient, is equal to 0. Now since n is considered the positive real number in the equation 1, so we see that either a1 is equal to 0 or 1 plus 2n is equal to 0. However, n is taken positive. Therefore, implies that a1 is equal to 0. So n is considered positive if we take this term, bracket term 0, then 1 plus 2n is equal to 0 will give us n is equal to minus 1 by 2. However, we have taken it as positive. So a1 would be 0. At this stage, we have found K, A0 and A1. If you remember that our objective was to find the K and the coefficients, and so far we have found A0 and A1. And now we consider again equation number 3a. Which we have made by putting k is equal to n in equation 3. So equation 3a, let me rewrite it again. At this time, we are not going to compare the coefficient of x to the power n, n plus 1, n plus 2, but we will take the general term x, n plus r. Rather than xn, xn plus 1, xn plus 2, because k is equal to n, so k plus 1, k plus 2, k plus r, we are taking the term xn plus r and not the specific terms. So we see the equation number 3a, and we have two summations here, two summation signs here, and both summation has xn plus r term. This one has xn plus r term, this one has n plus r terms. Summation means many terms are adding. So in equation 3a, this term is basically backward by 2 steps. So if we add this whole one, then 2 terms before we will get this term. For example, if xn plus r minus 2 power 5, then xn plus r will have power 7. If x plus nr plus x minus 2 has power 20, then xn plus r will have power 22. So if we see that this power is 2 steps behind, this power is 2 steps behind this one. So when we compare the coefficient of general terms and xn plus r minus 2 is 2 steps behind xn plus r, I write it xn plus r minus 2 is 2 steps behind the xn plus r. So in equation 3a, we omit the summation sign and we do not put r plus 2 because it is already n plus r. So in order to make them equal, we just introduce a plus 2 here so that they both become n plus r and n plus r. Then we can compare the coefficient on the other side. So by taking this fact, first summation term, then equation 3a becomes a into r plus 2. Sorry, we put it plus 2 into n plus r plus 2. So we replace all r in first summation by r plus 2. So all the term will become n plus r plus 2 minus n square, and then x n plus r plus 2 minus 2 plus ar x n plus r is equal to 0. So we also omit the summation sign as well. And we can compare the coefficients of xn plus r on both sides. So we have seen that there is no xn plus r coefficient here. So the only coefficients are ar plus 2 is equal to, this term will go out on the other side, it will become ar upon this all term come inside. So this will be r plus 2, 2n plus r plus 2. So we have a general term by which we can find the coefficients. We call it equation number 5. Now by equation 5 we can find all the coefficients. Suppose we want to know the coefficient a2, because we have found the a0, a1, and now we are interested in a2. So what will we do? We will put r is equal to 0 in equation 5, which is this one. And what we will see? We will get a2 this would be 0. So I rewrite it. If we put equation 5, r is equal to 0, implies that a2 is equal to minus a0 upon 2 into 2n plus 2. If we take 2 common, we can rewrite it as a2 is equal to minus a0 upon 2. If we take 2 common from here, it will become 2 square, and this one will be 1 into n plus 1. We can make it a more general term, that a2 is equal to minus a0, 2 square. We can write 1 as 1 factorial and into n plus 1. So this is the more general term of A2. Now if we want to find the A4, for example, we see the A2, A4, A6, then we will see we have found A1, then we will see how A3, A5 will come. So after that, after A2 we want to find, if we want to find the A4, then we will use equation 5. Now we are interested in A4, so we put R is equal to 2 in equation 5, and we will get A4 as minus A square upon 4 into 2n plus 4. When we take 2 common, then we can make it a form like previous one. A2 upon 4 can be written as 2 square, and if we take 2 common here, it would become 2n plus 2. Now if we put the A2, the value of A2 in the expression, we will get A4 is equal to minus 1 upon 2 square into 2 into n plus 2, which is this one. And if we put A2, it was minus A naught 2 square 1 factorial n plus 1. If we don't put bracket here, that's fine. So we have 2 square here, we have 2 square here. Now we can write this A4 in terms of A naught. And we will see that A4 would be A naught upon 2 raised to the power 4, 2 factorial n plus 1 into n plus 2. Now if we are interested in A6, so we put R is equal to 4 in equation 5. So by using the general term, we can find all other coefficients, which was our objective. So implies that A6 would be A4 upon 6 into 2n plus 6. We take 2 common from the denominator and it will become A4 upon 2 raised to the power 4, 2 to the power 2, 3 common, n plus 3. So when we have this form, we put the value of A4 in this expression, then A6 become into 3 n plus 3, and A4 is A naught 2 raised to the power 4 into 2 factorial n plus 1 n plus 2. So we see that we have now 2 raised to the power 6, 2 and 4 6, 3 and 2 factorial, we can write it as a 3 factorial. And then we have n plus 1, n plus 2 and n plus 3 as a next term. So I write it here, a6 as a naught upon 2 raised to the power 6, 3 factorial, n plus 1, n plus 2 and n plus 3. So we see that there is a certain pattern now if we write all the coefficients in terms of a naught. So to find A3, we put R is equal to 1 in equation number 5, the general equation we have for the coefficients. So this becomes A3 is equal to minus A1 upon 1 plus 2 into 2n plus 1 plus 2. However, as we know that we have already found that a1 is equal to 0, so implies that a3 would also equal to 0. So to find the a5, R is equal to 3 in equation 5. So equation 5 will become A5 minus A3, 3 plus 2, R is equal to 3, and 2n plus 3 plus 2. But since A3 is equal to 0, this means that A5 will become 0 because of this A3. Similarly, all odd terms will become 0. Now, if you remember that we were doing all these working for the coefficients so that we can find the coefficients in equation number 2, which was y is equal to summation r is equal to 0 to infinity ar x n plus r, because we found that k is equal to n plus n, and we want to know the value of k, which we have already found, and we want to find the values of coefficients. So we know that all even coefficients have some value, but odd coefficients are 0. So if we open the summation sign, then it would become because this is the value for the a naught, this is a2, r is equal to 2, a1 coefficient was 0, then we have the other one, and this is a 2 square 1 factorial into n plus 1. This is 2 raised to power 4 2 factorial 1 factorial 2 factorial n plus 1 n plus 1 n plus 2. Then x has the value n plus 4. Then again negative sign, and we have the term for the a6. This is a0, a2, a4, then a6. So a6 would become 2 raised to the power 6 3 factorial n plus 1 n plus 2 n plus 3 and x raised to the power n plus 6 plus, then you can see a repetitive pattern, 2 to power 2, 2 to power 4, 2 to power 6. The next term would be 2 to power 8, then 1 factorial, 2 factorial, 3. The next term would have 4 factorial, then n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3. Then the next term would get n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3 into n plus 4. And x has value n plus 2, n plus 4, n plus 6. So the next term will get the value of x as n plus 8. So we start to write the general term for y, and first we take care of the sign. So if we have a series in which a term is positive, then a negative term, then a positive, then we can generalize it as minus 1 raised to the power r if r is equal to 0 to infinity. So we see that minus 1 raised to the power 0 would give 1. Then minus 1 raised to the power 1 will give minus 1. Then minus 1 raised to the power 2 will give us 1. and minus 1 raised to the power 3 will give us negative 1, minus 1 raised to the power 4 will give positive 1. So we see that if we have alternate terms, positive, negative, then it can be generalized by writing minus 1 into r raised to the power r. So we can write it as, so equation 2 will become, after opening the coefficients, as r is equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 raised to the power r x n plus 2r upon 2 raised to the power 2r r factorial. So we see that all the terms are now generalized based on the value of r. So we have the 2 factorial, which is, then in next term we have 3 factorial, 4 factorial, 5 factorial. So we can write it as 2 raised to the power 2r. Sorry, that will be generalized as r factorial because r is 0 to infinity. And the power for 2 can be represented by 2 raised to the power 2r. And we have n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3. So we can write this one as n plus r. So the generalized term we represent it as equation number 6. Now we can simplify it more, and I forgot to write the a naught. A naught was present in all terms. Now, if we want to simplify it more, we can do it by assigning a value to a naught. A naught is an arbitrary constant, so it is important. We can give it a value to simplify calculations because we know that the solutions of differential equations, if we multiply the solution, any solution of the differential equation with a constant, then the new solution will also a solution for that differential equation. So since y is the solution of Bessel differential equation, ny, where n is a constant, will also be a solution. Therefore, if we multiply a constant with solution, it is also a solution. Now we have put the value of a naught in this expression, so equation 6 becomes this equation. And if we see this value and we see that we have a n factorial and we have expression from n plus 1 to n plus r, then if we see this expression, it would become n plus r factorial. So this makes the new equation two n minus 1 raised to the power r x n plus 2r 2 raised to the power 2r into r factorial and then n plus r factorial. We can simplify it more, so better to write it like this. The term which is taking care of the sign, then x upon 2 has n plus 2r, this n, so it become n plus 2r, so we can write it in the same bracket, and we do not need to write anything here. We already write the x. So 1 upon r factorial n plus r factorial. Now we can transform it more by introducing the gamma function. So that's why we have chosen the value of constant a naught as a specific type, so we can proceed further using the identities. Alhamdulillah. So we can write n plus r factorial as the gamma function n plus r plus 1. So no need to write factorial. Factorial sign. Now we can put this gamma function in the above equation. Before this, we denote y, because it is a solution, we denote y as Jn of x. Special, we give it a special type Jn of x, so that we can know that it is the solution of specifically Bessel differential equation. At k is equal to positive n. So this positive n shows that, and j shows that it is the solution of Bessel differential equation, and the value of n shows that it is when k is equal to positive n. So we can write the solution now as Jn of x is equal to summation r is equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 raised to the power r x upon 2 n plus r plus 2 1 upon r factorial gamma n plus r plus 1. We call it equation number 7. So this is now the final solution for the Bessel differential equation. We have derived it, but we know that we have two constants. Now we have k is equal to positive n. So that was the case 1. Equation 7 is the result for the case 1. Now for case 2, we have k is equal to minus n, if you remember that. we use the equation number 7 and we can put n is equal to minus n to get the value of k is equal to minus n. If we put k is equal to minus n, the solution of Bessel differential equation will become j minus n x is equal to summation r is equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 raised to the power r x upon 2 minus n plus 2r one upon r factorial gamma minus n plus r plus 1. We call it equation number 8. So we have for both values of n the solutions. So the reason we have denoted the solutions for n is equal to k is equal to positive n and k is equal to minus n as j n of x and j minus n of x, so that we can represent the general solution of Bessel differential equation as y. So now the general solution of y is basically the linear combination of these two solutions. So we can write j n of x plus b arbitrary constant j minus n of x. So where a and b are two arbitrary constant. And depends on the situation for which you are going to solve that Bessel differential equation. So this is all for this lecture.